Before the world called him a symbol, before his face appeared on murals and currency, before his name became a synonym for freedom, he was just a man with opinions, with pride, with anger, with hope that sometimes burned too hot. He did not begin as a saint. He began as a human being. He was born into a world already divided, a world where your future was decided before you could speak, where your skin color was not a detail. It was a sentence. As a boy, he listened to elders tell stories of dignity, of land taken, of voices ignored. And slowly, something formed inside him, a question. Why should some walk freely while others must ask permission to exist? That question followed him into adulthood. When he was young, he believed in action, strong action, immediate action. He believed injustice demanded resistance, that oppression should be confronted, not negotiated. And many agreed with him. Anger felt honest. Anger felt powerful. Anger felt necessary. He spoke boldly. He organized. He challenged a system that did not want to be challenged. But systems built on fear respond predictably, with force. One day, the knock came. Not loud, not dramatic, just final. He was arrested, tried, and sentenced. The punishment was not only prison, it was erasure. The world was meant to forget him. The cell was small, so small he could touch both walls at once. The air was heavy, the silence endless. Days blurred into weeks, weeks into years. Outside, seasons changed. Inside, time stood still. At first, anger kept him alive. Anger gave him warmth in the cold. Anger gave him purpose. But anger is exhausting. And years are patient. He missed funerals, missed birthdays, missed the sound of familiar voices. He aged behind bars while the world aged without him. And slowly, something uncomfortable happened. He had time to think, time to remember, time to question his own certainty. At night, when the prison was quiet, he replayed his past decisions, the words he had spoken, the paths he had chosen. He asked himself difficult questions. Was violence the only language power understood? Was he right, or simply angry? Had he underestimated the cost of resistance? There were no easy answers, only echoes. Some days, bitterness felt justified. Some days, forgiveness felt like betrayal, not just of himself, but of everyone who suffered alongside him. How do you forgive a system that never apologized? How do you let go of rage when rage feels like proof that injustice mattered? These questions haunted him, and they still haunt us. Years passed, the guards changed, the world outside shifted, and something unexpected happened. The man in the cell began to change, not because prison softened him, but because reflection sharpened him. He learned the habits of his enemies, their fears, their assumptions. He realized something unsettling. They were also prisoners, trapped by the very system they defended. This realization did not excuse cruelty, but it complicated his hatred. And complexity is dangerous, because once you see another human being fully, simple anger no longer fits. When news reached him that his name was growing outside, that people marched, protested, demanded, he felt pride and guilt. Others were suffering now because of a cause he helped ignite. Leadership, he learned, carries invisible weight. After decades, the impossible happened. The doors opened. The world expected a man broken by time or consumed by vengeance. Instead, they saw someone calm, measured, smiling, and this unsettled people. Some cheered, others questioned. How can someone forgive so easily? Is this wisdom or weakness? Does peace erase injustice? Even today, these questions divide opinion, because forgiveness is not universally admired. Sometimes it feels unfair. When he stepped into leadership, he faced an impossible choice: punish the past or risk the future. Justice demanded accountability. Peace demanded compromise. There was no option without loss. He chose reconciliation, and that choice came at a cost. Not everyone felt healed, not everyone felt heard. Some believed justice was postponed or denied. They still do. History often celebrates outcomes without acknowledging unresolved pain. What makes his story powerful is not that he chose correctly, but that he chose consciously, knowing criticism would follow, knowing wounds would remain, knowing peace is fragile. He once said that hatred is learned, and so is love. But unlearning hate is one of the hardest human tasks. It requires patience and restraint. And sometimes restraint looks like surrender. That is why his legacy is debated. Some see a hero. Some see a man who compromised too much. Some see both. And that tension is important because it reminds us history is not shaped by perfect people, but by imperfect humans making impossible decisions. His life teaches us many things.